These are the 7 levels of World Cup fan, and one of them is you. Level 1. The tourist. They are watching the World Cup, and that's the remarkable part, because this is a person who couldn't name a single match from the last 4 years. Right now they're on the edge of the sofa, somewhat invested, with no idea what's happening. Ask them to name a player on the pitch, and they'll give you one, confidently. And there's a real chance he retired years ago. Everyone else they refer to by description. The tall one, number 9. The lad with the hair. They pick who to support in the opening minutes, on kit colour or which flag looks best, or whichever one a mate told them to back. They're not entirely sure whether the players on screen are playing for their clubs or their countries, and they suspect it might somehow be both. During a tense game, they'll ask, in complete sincerity, why nobody just shoots. The goal's right there. What is everyone waiting for? The rules are a mystery. It's a draw. So do they both go home? There's extra time? Why didn't they just do that the whole match? They're outraged to discover it's 45 straight minutes with no ad breaks, and personally offended by the offside flag every single time, on principle, without knowing what it's for. Their team scores and they find out from the noise. They look up, clock that the room is happy, and join a celebration already in full swing. They'd been scrolling, stopped on a 3-minute home workout they'll never start. They came in saying, "It's only a game." By the second half, they're on their feet shouting at a defender whose name they cannot pronounce. And here's what the tourist doesn't realize. This is the only time it's ever this simple. No baggage yet, no near misses, no dread, no decade of disappointment loaded onto every kick. Just the clean, uncomplicated thrill of wanting your team to win. Everyone higher up this list felt it exactly like this once. They don't anymore. The tourist still does, for now. Level 2. The patriot. The patriot doesn't support a football team. The patriot supports a flag. There's a flag on their car. There's face paint on, for a 2 o'clock group game on a Tuesday, and they've taken the afternoon off work to be emotionally available for it. The commitment is total. The football knowledge is not. Are we winning? They ask. They've been in the room the entire time and taken in almost none of it. Who scored? Is he one of ours? They know the manager's name and exactly one player. Everyone else is the lads. They know the national anthem word for word and could not name the man taking the corner. And to the patriot, that's not a contradiction. The anthem is the point. The football is just the thing happening underneath it. Their entire tactical philosophy is a single sentence, deployed at every setback. We just need to want it more. After a win, they think the team are going all the way, and they said so from the start. After a loss, the manager's clueless, and the whole thing's a shambles, and there is no memory of the previous opinion. Their contribution to the cause is a flag emoji and "Come on!" posted to a story nobody asked for. But their real tournament is the office sweepstake, the most invested they'll be in any single team, and it's a team they were handed at random. I drew Croatia. Are they good? Am I meant to be happy? And then it ends. The Patriots' love comes with a hard expiry date. On the day of the final, they'd run through a wall for the cause. The morning after, the flag's off the car. And if it went badly, they'll tell you, completely straight-faced, that they never really followed it that closely anyway. See you in 4 years. No hard feelings.
Level 3. The player fan. This type of World Cup football fan has loyalty. It's just pointed at one specific guy, and they found him on their phone. They follow his Instagram, not his team's results. They know his boot deal, his haircut, his girlfriend, and the name of his dog. They own his shirt with his name on the back and can't name a single other player on the team. They call him by his first name, like they know him. Their personal top 5 players is, on inspection, simply the 5 most followed accounts in football, and they will defend it to the death. They rate players on things you can't measure: swagger, celebrations, presence. And a quiet, disciplined 70-minute game means nothing to them next to one step over that went viral. He's just so good, they'll say, after the guy has touched the ball twice. And if you point that out, It wasn't his fault. The team didn't give him the ball. The manager played him wrong. The system doesn't suit him. It is never, under any circumstances, him. Their knowledge of football history begins around 2015, which is when they started watching. So as far as they're concerned, that's when football began. They got in through a 30-second clip, a transfer rumor, or a documentary with slow motion and dramatic music. And the support follows the player, never the badge. If he transfers clubs, they switch clubs overnight. And if his country ever plays their country, there's a long, genuinely uncomfortable pause while they work out who to support. When their guy gets knocked out, the player fans' World Cup is over. The other 23 teams might as well not exist. So who am I supposed to watch now? The patriot would never abandon the flag. The player fan was never holding one at all. Level 4. The pub pundit. Now we meet the loudest man in the room, and he is having the 6 best weeks of his life. He's here for all of it. The boys, the beer, the fan zone, the roar when it goes in. He'll tell you, hand on heart, that it doesn't even matter who wins. This is what it's all about. And then spend the next 90 minutes furious at decisions he does not understand. He has a take on everything, and he is wrong at volume. He manages the whole match from the sofa. Get it wide. Switch the play. Why are we so deep? Push up. He's been yelling, "Mark someone," at the screen for 20 minutes and could not, if you asked him, tell you who's supposed to be marking whom. He's been demanding the same substitution since the 20th minute, and when it finally happens, he sits back like a man vindicated by history. I called that. I literally just said that. And when it goes wrong, he has a full set of reasons ready, and not one of them is the players. It's the ball. They bring out a new one every tournament. Nobody can control that thing. It's the referee, whose name he has now looked up, specifically so he can be angry at him by name. He's bent. FIFA wanted them through. The whole thing's a fix. It's the manager, who in this fan's professional opinion hasn't got a clue. A verdict he reaches about 4 minutes in and never once revisits. He has theories. They're somehow better with 10 men. They always concede right after they score. It's a fact. Look it up. And he has a superstition he will not break. The one time he put his pint down, they conceded. So the pint does not leave his hand again until the final whistle, no matter how warm it gets. He'll watch one of the best players on the planet have a quiet half and announce, completely serious, "He's useless. Get him off." He called the score at kickoff, got it wrong, and will tell you afterwards he said it'd be a tight game. And the moment it goes to penalties, the pub pundit becomes a world authority. A man misses from 12 yards, in front of 80,000 people and a billion more, and the pundit shakes his head into his pint. How has he missed that? I'd have scored that in my sleep. He is not informed. He does not need to be. The pub pundit isn't here to be right. He's here to feel it as loudly as possible, in good company, and on that, he delivers every single time.
Level 5. The obsessive. This is where real knowledge starts, and where it starts to get a little strange. The obsessive doesn't just watch their own country, they watch everything. A 9 in the morning group game between 2 nations they couldn't have found on a map, and they're locked in, with strong opinions on both. By the second round, they can tell you about a 19-year-old left-back from a team that has never qualified for anything in its life. There is a wall chart. It went up on the fridge before a ball was kicked, and it is filled in by hand, in pen, after every result. And God help anyone who writes a score on it for them. When 2 games kick off at once, they run a second screen, because missing one is not an option. They correct the commentators out loud, to no one, and they're usually right. They've adopted a second team for when their own team goes out of the tournament, and the choice was not casual.
There was a shortlist, a style of play they admire, an underdog story they've bought into, and they will talk you through all of it, whether you asked or not. They know which teams are wilting in the heat, who's struggling with the altitude, whose legs have gone after a long club season. They understand the permutations in a way that unsettles people. Right, if we draw and Japan lose by 2 or more, we top the group on goal difference, which means we dodge them until the semis. Unless, and there's an unless, and you stopped listening a while ago. They've sent the group chat a photo of the table at midnight, and they will be genuinely hurt if nobody replies. There's a fantasy team, and it is not a casual concern. They have a spreadsheet. They agonize over the captaincy. They've made and unmade the same transfer 4 times before the deadline, and they are quietly furious that Karen in accounts is beating them with a side she threw together in 90 seconds and hasn't looked at since. The pub pundit has opinions. The obsessive has information and is a noticeably more tired person for it. Level 6. The national diehard. The World Cup isn't entertainment. At this level, it's the most important 6 weeks of a 4-year cycle, and they've been quietly counting down to it for months. On match day, they go somewhere else entirely. Distant, distracted, no real use to anyone until the game is over, depending on outcome. There is a shirt, and during a winning run it does not get washed, because you don't change what's working. They know exactly how that sounds, and they do it anyway. When the anthem plays, something moves across their face that they couldn't explain to you even if they tried. A grown adult, completely composed in every other part of their life, about to be taken apart by a game they cannot influence in any way. The dread arrives before the so-called easy games, the ones they're supposed to win, because they know better than anyone that supposed to means nothing. They can't watch the penalties. They watch through their fingers, or from behind the sofa, or they walk out and follow it by the sound of the room. And somewhere in the worst of it, they catch themselves bargaining with no one in particular. If we win this, that's it. I'll never ask for another thing. And they carry the wound. Every serious football nation has one. The shootout, the disallowed goal, the year it all came apart. And the diehard carries theirs like a scar. At home, the family has adapted. Everyone they live with has learned the rule. You do not speak to them for the first hour after a defeat. Nobody agreed to this out loud. It simply became a standard operating procedure. The obsessive loves the tournament. The diehard is held hostage by it.
Level 7. The true believer.
This fan once took a week off work after their country lost a quarter-final and told the office it was a family matter. In fairness to them, that's exactly what it felt like. At level 7, the country isn't something you support, it's something you are. A defeat isn't disappointing, it's a bereavement, and they'll disappear for days. They can tell you exactly where they were standing for the goal and exactly where they were for the miss. The 2 coordinates a whole life gets arranged around. There's a shirt or a scarf or a ticket stub from one specific tournament that will never be thrown out and will, one day, be left to somebody in a will, whether that somebody wants it or not. Their whole life runs on the 4-year clock. Other people measure time in birthdays and jobs and houses, and the true believer measures it in tournaments. That was the summer of the quarter-final. We got married the year we went out in the round of 16. Holidays, weddings, the timing of an operation, all of it quietly checked against a fixture list first. And here's the part that sounds like a joke and isn't. Ask them, honestly, whether they'd trade something real in their own life. A promotion, the perfect holiday, something that's actually theirs, to watch their country lift that trophy once before they die. And they won't laugh. They'll go quiet, because they're genuinely weighing it up. They know by now that it will probably break their heart again. They've done the sum on the odds and the years they've got left, and it isn't kind. And every 4 years, they show up anyway, all in, hoping, because the hoping is the part that's theirs. This isn't something that happened to them. It's something they chose and keep choosing. They made that deal a long time ago, and they'd make it again tomorrow without blinking. Here's the thing though, the World Cup changes people. The person who sat down for the opening game asking the questions with obvious answers is, 5 weeks later, standing in their living room at 1 in the morning, having a furious argument with a referee who cannot hear them and never will.